Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is for anyone that works at home to any capacity, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, if you just work from home, this video is for you. Today, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my tips and advice for anyone working at home. So if you struggle with staying focused, organized, motivated, and productive, keep watching. So this is part 2 of a 3-part working from home series that I started on my channel last week. If you tuned in last week, you saw part 1 where I talked about all the difficulties and hardships and all the struggles that we all struggle with, whether you're a small business owner or you just work from home for your regular job. So if you haven't watched that, I definitely recommend going and watching that so that you have all of the context for this video. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about all of the tips and advice that I can give you from my personal experience, and also some of you guys that weighed in on my Instagram story last week on the matter. And in next week's video, I'm gonna be focusing on all the parents out there that work from home with their kids at home. So now that I have all of that out of the way, let's jump in today's video. So whether you're a small business owner or not, working from home is extremely difficult. It's hard, it's a lot of work, and it can be very stressful. So a lot of us, including myself, have a really hard time managing it all. So if you struggle with time management and staying productive, then I definitely recommend that you create a routine for yourself. So if you've ever had a 9-to-5 job, typically when you get ready for work in the morning, or maybe you go and get breakfast, maybe you make some coffee at work because you have a Keurig coffee maker in your office, whatever. Typically, most of us have a morning routine and we don't even realize it. But when you go from having a normal morning routine and you have to drive to work, your brain gets to automatically switch from home life to work life as soon as you walk into the doors of your workplace. Unfortunately, when you work from home, you don't have that. You roll out of bed and can technically start working as soon as your feet hit the floor. So I personally have found that creating a morning routine for myself so that I can allow my brain to switch from home life to work life has been a tremendous help for me. So in my case, I rarely ever set an alarm unless I have to get a really early head start on something that I have going on that day. Typically, my body will automatically wake up at the same time every day. I will get up, I will make myself a coffee, and then I will take my dogs outside and I will just sit outside and enjoy my coffee while my dogs are running around. So whether you set an alarm and you make yourself a smoothie in the morning, maybe you go on a morning walk or run, maybe you do a workout or some yoga, maybe you just want to sit in bed and enjoy your coffee while you watch an episode of your favorite TV show. Just do something that is going to get you in the mindset of your workday. Another thing I recommend that helps with time management and productivity is planning out your day. So I am a list person, and for me, I make to-do lists all the time. I will make a to-do list for stuff I have to get done at the house. I'll make a to-do list for everything that I need to get done for work. And I've kind of gone back and forth between using like a daily planner and also using a bullet journal. Whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you. I've also tried time blocking on my Google Calendar, and that's where you can like literally set from 9 to 10, I am making my to-do list for the day and answering emails. From 10 to 11, I'm going to film a YouTube video. From 11 to 12, I'm going to have my lunch. From 12 to 1, I'm gonna go package all the orders that I received the day before or whatever. I've even set alarms and reminders to go off on my phone while I'm working on something so that I will stop what I'm doing and move on to my next thing, because sometimes I do get hyper focused on what I'm working on and I will sit there and I will finish editing that YouTube video even though it took me 4 or 5 hours to edit, and then I didn't get anything done that was on the rest of my to-do list. So I've tried it all, so do whatever works for you. And something that goes hand in hand with that I recommend doing is prioritizing all of your tasks. So typically on Sundays or Mondays, just depending on how my weekend is going, I will make a weekly to-do list of everything I need to get done for my work. So maybe I have like 50 orders that I have to make and package and ship out, and I have a couple of YouTube videos that I have to film and edit, along with making inventory for a local store that I sell my products in, and everything else that I have going on. And then I take that weekly to-do list and divvy it up throughout the week so that I can get everything done that I needed to get done without feeling overworked because I divided it up evenly. And then from there, after you figure out your daily to-do list, I would pick 3 items off your daily list that you have to get done no matter what. No matter what happens that day, no matter what goes on, what you get done, there are 3 things on that list that you have to get done and you will get done that day. That alone has helped me so much because I would have a full to-do list for the day and I would go for the fastest and easiest tasks first, even though they weren't necessarily the most important things that I got done. And then I didn't get done what was really important that I got done that day because I did everything else that was on my list. So I definitely recommend picking your most important tasks, putting them up top, getting those done first, and then worry about getting the rest of your list done. And another tip I have to stay productive is reward yourself frequently. For example, when I get those top 3 things that I have on my to-do list done, I will go treat myself to some ice cream in the freezer. Or I'll tell myself, you can have another iced coffee after you get these things done. Or I can reward myself by just taking a break, by watching TV, playing some Xbox. Whatever you decide, rewarding yourself is positive reinforcement and it can help motivate you to get your work done. Another thing that I struggle with sometimes is just feeling overwhelmed and burned out. And then I have no motivation to do anything or the creativity to make anything. So to avoid feeling burned out and overwhelmed, I definitely recommend trying the time blocking. And that's what I mentioned earlier, where you plan out your day to a T by the hour, everything that you need to get done that day so that you can be the most efficient and get everything done. But it's important that you remember to schedule yourself breaks. Schedule yourself a 15-minute break, schedule yourself a lunch break, and actually eat some lunch because you will run out of energy by the end of the day if you hadn't eaten breakfast and then you skipped lunch because you were so busy, and then you want to quit early because you're hangry and you're tired and you have no energy. So just save yourself the trouble and schedule yourself some breaks and an actual lunch. And on that note, let's say you're terrible about figuring out how much time you're going to spend getting a certain task done. Then you can just say, okay, I'm going to work from 9 o'clock to noon, and then I'm going to take a lunch break for an hour, and then I'll get back to work and I'll work from 1 to 4. You can time block that way too. Or you can go the other way and work for an hour, take a 15-minute break, work for another hour, take a 15-minute break, and not schedule the exact task that you're going to get done in that hour. Just know that you are working from this time to this time, no distractions, because you're going to get a 15-minute break after that hour or whatever you decide on. Another tip that I have for you to avoid feeling overwhelmed is set a specific quit time every single day. So for me, I don't have a set time. It's whenever my husband gets home from work, which is typically between 5 and 6 p.m. So when he gets home, then we start cooking dinner. We'll sit down as a family and have our dinner together, and then we'll enjoy family time or whatever we got planned that evening. But I definitely noticed I don't get overwhelmed as frequently as I used to because I have a set time where I start and end my workday. Another thing that I recommend doing to keep from getting overwhelmed is keeping wherever you work tidy and organized. Even if it's just organized chaos and it's just a little bit picked up and organized, that is better than sitting at your table or desk or whatever you're working at and it is completely covered in a bunch of stuff. And then your brain becomes stressed out because you got to move all this stuff around just so you can get some work done. So for me, I have multiple workspaces throughout my home. So I typically clean my workspaces once a week, especially because a lot of the crafts and projects that I do take more than a day to complete. Some of them can take a week to complete, and I don't feel like cleaning up that mess every single day just to get it all back out to work on it the next day. So I will just kind of organize the chaos because some of it I have to keep out while I'm working on it, and other things I just don't care about because I have other things to worry about. So I'll just leave the stuff out on my desk until the end of the week when I need to use my desk to edit my videos later on. Another thing that I do is if I feel stressed out or overwhelmed, maybe I'm working on a project and it's a lot harder than I anticipated. Maybe I'm just making products for orders and I'm just getting super overwhelmed and stressed out making everything. So then I will make myself take a break, even if it's not on the schedule. Take 5 to 15 minutes or whatever you need to help get your brain back in the right mindset, because there is nothing worse than feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, and then you just power through that day to only wake up the next day and you have no motivation, no energy. You are not in the right mental mindset to accomplish everything that you need to get done. So take that 5 minutes to take a breath or whatever you need to do to get back in that right mindset. Okay, so moving on to the next subject, staying focused is something that I have always had issues with, especially because I'm so easily distracted. So needless to say, I have several tips to help you on this matter. So first off, I recommend try to separate yourself from your distractions. For example, maybe your family comes in the room and distracts you from working, or your friends come over and hang out and you're trying to get some work done, or maybe you have a roommate. And it may not even be a human that's distracting you. It could be the TV or your social media or your phone. In any case, I recommend trying to separate yourself as much as possible from those distractions. So for me personally, if I am editing one of my YouTube videos, I know, okay, I'm not gonna go sit on the couch where the TV remote is in arm length of me and I can just grab it and turn it on and then not focus on editing my video. On that same note, someone that swiped up on my Instagram story last week where I asked you guys what your struggles were or if you guys have any tips, someone said that their biggest distraction was their phone, so they would turn their phone on silent so that anytime their friends texted or called, so that they were not inclined to answer that text or phone call right away and they could focus on getting their work done. While someone else said when they really needed to focus on their work, they would put their phone in another room because their biggest distraction was their social media. So she just put her phone in a completely separate room so that she wasn't tempted to pick up her phone and check her Instagram or her TikTok or whatever. So I think all of those are super great ideas for you if you get easily distracted by those types of things. But if your biggest distraction is your family or your roommate or your friends, unfortunately, you're just gonna have to lock yourself in another room or separate yourself from them somehow and just try communicating with them that, hey, I'm trying to get this done. I need to work from this time to this time. After I'm done with this, then I can do that with you. So for me, that used to be my biggest issue when I used to live at my parents' house, because if I was filming a video, I had to walk around the whole house and let everyone know that was in the house, hey, I'm filming a video. Can you be quiet or can you avoid coming in this room? And as for my husband and my daughter, they pretty much know my schedule. And if I'm doing something outside of the normal hours that I work, or if I just need them to keep the volume down because I'm filming a video, then I just communicate that with them so that we are all on the same page. So that has helped me tremendously, and I definitely recommend trying that. Now, let's say that you have to have your phone for your work, so you can't turn it on silent and you can't go stick it in another room to keep it from distracting you. So what I recommend that I personally did and I still do is I turned off all my notifications on any social media or app that can distract me. So for me personally, I have my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok, my Snapchat, my Facebook, my Pinterest, even my email notifications all turned off, because I want to focus on whatever I'm working on. And if I hear that someone snapped me or someone messaged me on Instagram or if someone tagged me on TikTok or whatever, I'm going to be inclined to click on that notification as I hear it, and then I'm not getting the work that I need to get done completed. So I turned all my notifications off. So I have set times in the day that I can go and check my social media. I can go and respond to emails and comment back and message back to people. And if I'm taking my break or my lunch and I just want to scroll on TikTok or reply to my friends' Snapchats, then I can do that on my break time, not on work time. Now, earlier I touched on your brain switching over from home life to work life. Something that I do that has helped me with that is make designated workspaces for myself. Now, this used to be very difficult for me because I didn't used to have a craft room and an office to work out of. I would have to work on the dining room table or work on my bed or work on the couch, work wherever I had space to work. So I understand how hard it is to actually designate a workspace, especially when you share a space with others. But even doing so, before I had my office and my craft room, I set up a folding table where I sat and I did everything. No one could set their stuff on that table. No one could touch that table. That was my workspace and my workspace alone. Because I can't tell you how many times I would be laying on my bed or laying on the couch, editing a YouTube video or answering emails, and I would just doze off because I was so comfortable where I was working at. And obviously I should not be sleeping on the job. So definitely try to make a designated workspace for yourself, and that can help your brain switch from that home life to work life, because as soon as you sit in that spot where you get your work done, your brain knows, okay, we're here to work, I'm gonna get my work done. So another distraction that I have always had working from home is the house. Anytime I walk past a sink full of dishes, I wanna stop what I'm doing and do the dishes, or I hear the washer go off and I wanna go switch the clothes from the washer to the dryer, because if I don't, I'll forget to switch them and I'll have to rewash that load. And I eventually got to the point where I would be spending half the day doing household stuff instead of my work. So I was only getting half of my work done. So I just reached a point where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna touch the house until I'm done working. So now I don't worry about the house stuff until I've clocked out of my work day, and then I can focus on it. Because let's be real, if you had a real 9-to-5 job, you wouldn't be cleaning your house while you're at work. Focus on getting your work done, and then you can worry about the house later. But at the end of the day, you need to do whatever is going to help you be successful. So I can sit here and give you all the advice and tips that have personally worked for me, or tricks that other people have shared with me. But in the end, it doesn't really matter what anyone else is telling you to do. You need to do whatever works for you. So personally, I like to have music on while I'm getting work done, or sometimes I'll have the TV on for background noise while I'm designing something on my iPad. But if you need complete silence to concentrate, then get yourself some noise canceling headphones. So I'll say that again, do whatever works for you. Now, sometimes I just get stuck in this rut and I don't feel motivated or inspired. I don't have any creativity. And sometimes we just need a little push or a boost. So if you struggle with that, then I recommend doing something that's going to motivate you and want to get some work done. So for me personally, anytime I've gotten stuck in a rut, I have bought a new planner or agenda, or I bought a new bullet journal with some pretty markers that I can plan out my days with. Or maybe I just rearrange the furniture in my office, or I rearrange my desk. Maybe you just need to completely switch it up, and if you have a hot spot, you can go and work on your laptop in the park. If you don't have a hot spot, then you can go to Starbucks or McDonald's or the public library or whatever. Or maybe all you need to do is just switch up your routine. I can't tell you how many times I have tried something new so that I can be the most efficient and productive as possible. How many times I've just completely switched up my routine. So just know that I have tried so many different things, and it takes time to figure out the groove of things and what works for you. So with all that being said, I hope that you found something in this video that was helpful to you, that you can take and apply to your work life at home. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments, just drop a comment down below. If you liked this video and it benefited you in any way, please let me know that you liked it by giving me a big thumbs up. And don't forget to click that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out on any other small business tips.